Hello, 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 and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast. This is your host, Bobby. We're going to maybe do a one part, a two part, a three part. No, I'm not really sure where this is going to go, but this is an interesting topic. It is adult games released, video game style. I played a few of them. Some on Nintendo, some on Atari, some on the PlayStation, some on the computer. Some are more graphic than others. I figured it'd be an interesting topic to talk about because there are a lot of adult themed games, and we'll discuss them as best as we can. This is still a family show. We're not going to get too vulgar, so I'm going to do my best to keep it fun and not creepy. But some of the games are creepy. Sometimes there's a game that you want to make, and then you have to ask yourself, why? Like, why did you want to make this game? What was the point of this game? And then sometimes you make a game and it's like, you know what? It's just stupid, immature behavior, and then you get a laugh out of it. And sometimes you question, this man who made this game should be in jail. So we'll go over some of the games. I won't go too much. I was thinking it'd be really cool if you join the Discord. Maybe we can make a topic out of this and we can go back and forth, and I can always come back and do a part two or get some of your games maybe that you've played that you might want to share, and we could do a little I can investigate, play them myself, and make another show out of it, or this could be one of the worst shows in the history of the Unofficial Controller podcast. And it is what it is. Technically right now, let's set a mood. All right. It's Saturday night. For me right now, it's 9:30. I'm sitting here with a glass of white wine. I had a couple, maybe 3 glasses of wine. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling adult, you know? But before we get into the games, there's really only one thing that I've been playing, and that is Hell Divers 2. Um, Never played the first game, but I wish I did. I think the server is still open, but I don't know how long, and I don't know if I have the time to try to play that because I'm playing two right now. And one is like a Diablo style, top down view, whatever you want to call it, a game. And this one is more like a third person action. So I got my boy Marlon to buy the game. He got his son to buy the game. So there's three of us right there off the bat. We played this game together for about 6 hours the first day. Convinced my stepfather Danny to get the game. I'm convincing my brother to get the game. That's another 2 players. There's 6 of us in total. One of us should be on at some time together all the time. And I can only imagine the fun we'll have because the first 6 hours I played, and I played a couple hours the next day, were really good. Even playing by yourself, when you have strangers, I mean, now I'm sure there's idiots out there that will kill you for your supplies or items you picked up. Everything is shared. So if you're 10 miles away from where the person picked up this item, you all share it. That's the point of the game. It's shareable items. You can share guns. If I drop down a gun for you, you could pick it up. Or if it's just my gun, it's my gun. There's no hostility. It's just player versus AI. You have the robots who remind me something from Terminator. Some remind me the enemy from RoboCop. I cannot think of his name. I think it's T-2000. No, not T-2000. It's from Terminator. The walking tank thing in RoboCop. You know what? We'll Google it because I'm not gonna go there. I have the computer right in front of me. RoboCop 2 enemy. It has to be there. Let's see. What is this? Kane. That's not That's the enemy. I'm talking about the robot. Maybe it was the first RoboCop. My God, how long has it been since I've seen RoboCop? Clearly, a long time ago. There it is. ED 290. ED 290. That is the enemy in the robot, which is it looks like them. It's not exactly them. Looks like them. Okay, some look like Terminators, but they're not. But basically, it's what it is. When you play on the other side of the planet, you have bugs. And don't tell me that the person who made this game didn't watch Starship Troopers because they absolutely did. And it reminded me of Starship Troopers. As a matter of fact, I'm so hyped playing this game that I want to rewatch Starship Troopers. 100% want to watch that movie. That's how hyped the game has got me to rewatch that movie. So basically, you pick your character. There's some customable items you can do. As you progress through the game, you unlock more difficulties, which also unlocks more weapons, which also unlocks more missions based on difficulty. So there is fun for everyone at every stage. Um, Playing with strangers, the games go much quicker because they want to get the objective, Okay, have another wine and bounce out, which is fine, not a problem. When you play with your friends, you can do a lot more stuff together because you're communicating. You're on a headset, you're communicating better. Yes, you can communicate with a bunch of strangers, but I don't do that. So I'm level 10. I think Marlon's level 7. So we're getting there. We're progressing. We're trying hard difficulties. The game is the game as hard as you make it based off what you have as your active loadout, right? Lots of action, lots of fun. I heard people saying there's issues and people getting dropped. Now I have a PlayStation, obviously. I don't play it on PC. It's not on Xbox apparently, which I did not know. Didn't even pay attention to that. But it's not on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. I have not received any drops of game, and every time I played a game, I was able to play. So I wasn't on any low times or queues or anything else. So for me, I've been lucky, I guess. Game is a lot of fun. It just reminds me of a really fast-paced Sniper 5. Probably not the best comparable game to compare it to that. Uh, this game. But as far as me and Marlon playing games like this, that's what it reminded me of. Even though it's you don't have a sniper bullet, you have a sniper gun, but you're not sniping nuts. You know what I mean? You're not sniping nuts. Uh, the slow mo bullet cam won't pop in effect, but basically similar to Sniper Elite. Best I could describe it, guys. You can go first person with some weapons, so that does help if you don't like to play in third person. You just go first person weapon mode. Just aim and hit first person, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. Uh, Probably the most fun I had playing with a group of friends since For Honor, which has been quite some time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had fun playing Diablo. I had fun playing Sniper Elite. But as far as like non-stop action objective based gameplay, this has been this has been absolutely amazing. So I will be playing that for a while. I have other, like I said, I have other horror games, like basically low resolution horror games from Puppet Combo. I have downloaded. I downloaded a bunch of other stuff. There's a huge sale now, so I have games on games on games, and I have games still wrapped in plastic, which I'm sure Elliot would appreciate. That you know what? If there's a sale, I may just buy it on sale and not open the plastic. I don't do that, but you know what? I'm feeling wild because the wine got to me. Um, so that's all I've been playing. I am anticipating, like I said, it's Saturday night. So for me, it's Saturday night, right? If you're listening to this on a Sunday at 4 p.m., have a wine with me. You know, if it's Sunday at 7 in the morning, have a wine. It could be Monday. I don't know. Grab a bottle. Let's go for it. This is going to be that kind of show. I feel it. I really feel it. Um, I love Dune. I saw Dune like 3 times. Very excited for the sequel. I'm seeing the sequel tomorrow with my wife. I made her watch Dune again because that's the kind of guy I am. And we're gonna watch it Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. But right after Dune, I'm coming home and I'm playing Helldivers. Okay. Because I cannot stop playing this game. It actually is something I want to come back and pick up. I've been kind of excited to play it ever since I bought it, and I think that's good. For a video game that you want to come back to all the time, it's good. Because if you guys know me, you know I play maybe 1 or 2 games at a time. And I try to play games I purchased so I don't skip any games. Yeah, I skipped a whole bunch of games with Hell. I went right to Helldivers. So it is what it is, but I enjoy it. If you need a recommendation, yes, I recommend it. Okay, I recommend it. I recommend it. That's not even a word, or it is. It's who knows. It's wine time. Um. So with that being said, that's what I've been playing. What I'm watching. That's what I'm gonna watch. Now let's get into like I didn't pick all of them. I picked 5 games. So it'll be as long as it's gonna be. I'm going to try to describe them in a tongue-in-cheek type of way, nothing that is too vulgar so everyone can hear. Also, use your own imagination when I say things. Pretty sure you can figure it out. I don't have to be vulgar. This isn't a Bobby's World podcast because if I do Bobby's World podcast, we can really, really go in detail. But do we have to? Of course not. So I am going to try to do a weird listen, it's a erotic game. Okay. I didn't go like modern. I went super retro. I went back to PC Atari, Nintendo, only because I feel that there is way more to talk about in the more modern release games because they could do a lot more. So, like I said, let's try to keep this low. This will be low, old school games from the 80s. They're mostly on Atari. I think Nintendo games is in the 90s. So I figured if we go here and we get some good reviews or we get some good conversations, maybe we could put a special Discord in the a Discord section of erotic games. Like I said, I could try to do another one. There is several. Um several. So there is a lot of deviants out there, a lot of young, wild people that just want to get their hands dirty on a erotic game, and the car honking, that's New York City. We are alive. It is the PM time, you know. If you're getting ready to go to a bar, you're getting ready to take somebody home, have another wine. Um, so I put them in order from not so bad to what were you thinking? Like I said, not every idea has to be created. Sometimes the idea just needs to stay in the person's mind and not go out to the public. So, first game, it's a Nintendo game. Okay. Let's try to get some actual real info. So let's just let me go to Google real quick. Um okay. Don't want to say it out loud because when I type I speak out loud. I wish I had a to um speak to text, but I don't have that. So I will just do this. Okay, here we go. Mm, mm, mm. 1 second. So the first game on Nintendo, it's not an official licensed Nintendo game. It is you know what? I don't know if it is. No, okay, yes. It's an unlicensed Nintendo game. It was developed and published in Asia by C&E. All right. It's basically an adult orientated puzzle game. All right. It was also released via mail order by Panagen, okay, along with two other games that they was created for called Hot Slots and Peek-a-Boo Poker. We're peeking, we're booing. All right. This was released in 1991. I had this game. I think I still have this game. The cover of the game is just three women in a bikini, and a blonde and brunette and a dirty blonde, and it's called Bubble Bath Babes. I never had the cover. I only had the NES cartridge cover. Didn't have the cover of the box. All right. It was there was also a Genesis and Mega Drive version, but it was released for more suitable ages. This is released strictly for adults, even though it's not the worst game. Not the worst game on here. Basically, it looks like Tetris, except on the bottom of the screen, there's a naked woman just posing, and there are obviously bubbles are floating up into the sky, and there's colors. So think of Tetris, think of Bubble Popper or Bubble Blaster or something like that. I remember there's a game similar to this, and you know, bubbles come up randomly from the bath. I don't know how, we don't know how they're coming up, but they're coming up and different shapes, different colors. You have to spin or move the bubbles that are coming up best way possible to join the other bubbles so they can pop. Obviously, when you run out of room, you lose a level. So it's very Tetris style, right? When you actually beat the level, you get a full size poster of a nude woman. Like I said, it is not the worst game on here. Um, it could be a lot worse, but it's not. So very basic, run of the mill, um, erotic game. Definitely for adults. I mean, you're not gonna look at a kid, looking at that, um, because they're too young. But if you're 18 and up, go look for it. So like I said, you beat the level, you get a little piece of little erotic digital art. I mean, if it floats your boat, float your boat. It's the best Nintendo could probably draw using an NES graphics. Nothing too crazy here. I played this a lot because, I was a young dude, and this is the only time I could probably see something like this without doing something more aggressive, you know, in nighttime PM, maybe watch HBO movies. Sometimes they showed some stuff. You're young. What do you have? We don't have the internet back then. This is the 80s. Who had internet? No one. So that's what you did. You played games like this. All right. The next game is interesting. It's called Night on the Town. Let me get some information here real quick, just to make sure I can describe the game. I have already footage, just so I can remind myself. Now this is going back to Atari. Okay, so Atari had amazing box art. It really, really did. However, obviously, gameplay was to be desired. You really had to use your own imagination on this because graphically, I don't even know if it was 8-bit. I don't know what bit it was, but it was a low bit. All right. So basically, the game was released. Let me see where I can find this information here. It's having on Wikipedia, which is crazy. Um, where is it? Well, let's see. Don't see the data. Let's check one more site. One more site, guys. Sorry about that. I should have had that. I should have had this ready, but I didn't. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. This game was released in 1982. on the Atari 2600 in 1982 by it was created by Joel H. Martin. All right. And the synopsis of the game is in Night on the Town, night as in like a knight in shining armor, night, not night and day. You play as a knight who needs to get across a moat to save a buxom, voluptuous princess. But the only way across is for the knight to build a drawbridge piece by piece. While building the bridge, the knight must dodge a dragon's fire, an alligator swimming in the moat, and a little gremlin with a big mouth to bite the knight's genitalia off. To make matters worse, the gremlin moves faster for every piece of bridge placed. The goal of the game is to get across a complete drawbridge and climb to the top of the tower to get the princess in the least amount of time. Okay. So basically, you have to use your imagination. All right. Now, let's visualize this game. The bottom of the game is blue because blue means water. Then there is a putrid brown color on the left in a pile, and all the way to the right, there's another putrid brown color in the shape of a tower. On the top of the tower, there is a little stand where the obviously what looks to be an adult woman naked, which is the princess. You are also naked. Basically, you take a piece of the brick from the pile and you place it onto the end of the moat. And you keep doing this until you connect the entire bridge across the screen. Maybe 10 bricks fit across the screen, but on the bottom of the screen, an alligator keeps popping up, which you have to avoid. There is some kind of, obviously it's a dragon. It looks like I don't know what, but hey, it's a dragon. It's Atari. It's dropping fire at you. And when you grab a piece of brick, a little gremlin shoots across the screen either left or right. You have to jump over them. Okay? So there's lots of things to avoid here. And I think you only have 3 lives. And you got to restart. And the timer keeps clicking. So the faster you do it, the better time you have. Now, once you do it once, the game's over. Because it's just one of those games. It's just one of those games where you beat once and you're done. There's no need to go over the high score. What does it matter? All the game does is get over and over. It repeats over and over and over again. Now, while you're carrying these pieces of brick to make the moat, to make the bridge, right? Every now and then, where the naked princess turns around, does a little twerk show. She does a little twerk show, and then every now and then she jumps up and down. So what you can imagine as a bounce of flesh just looks like a piece of pixel going up and down. Really nothing to it. The hilarious part of this is I don't care how old you are, this is still funny. You are all, you're in the night, you're naked. When you walk, not only do your legs move, something else moves. And it's moving to a beat of a drum. I don't know if you know the song Maps by, oh my God, who sings Maps? The Yeah, Yeah, Yes. Beginning of that song, when the guitar just goes, it's strumming. Imagine that as in a bouncing manner. That's how fast it's moving. Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild game. It does get hard. That's what she said. Because it's not hard, it ain't working. So that is the premise of this game. You go from left to right, picking up a piece of brick, placing the brick back down, going back to the left, all while avoiding a alligator, a fire breather dragon, and a gremlin. Is it worth it to save the princess up there? It's up to you. If you are playing imagination and this is the love of your life, absolutely. if you never met the princess before and she doesn't really do it for you, leave her up there. You know what they also don't show is the other side of the screen. Perhaps there's another way down. We don't know because we're stuck on one screen because it's Atari. The background is also just straight black. So it's very easy to see the fireball, the gremlin, and the woman. When you complete the objective and you actually climb the tower, you do the hokey pokey as two people becoming one, which is also a song from the Spice Girls that I secretly love very much. Hold a strong place in my heart. That song. Another guilty pleasure of mine, song wise, is the song "Digital Get Down" by NSYNC. You can't tell me that wasn't a straight banger. It was. All right. 2 down, 3 to go. This game, it's hard for me to pick between the one because one is hilarious and one is just wild. Well, they're both wild. Let's just do the wild one. All right, let's do this one. Now, this game is called Beat 'em and Eat 'em. All right, listen, it is what it is. There is no other way around it. That's just what it is. It was on Atari, and let's get the information. Here we go. It was released in 1982 by. It was developed by JHM Limited. Who knows who they are? It was published by American Multiple Industries and our Play Around. Okay, 1982, single player, adult. Now, I'm gonna read gameplay that comes straight from Wikipedia, which is basically the back of the box. Players control 2 nude women on the street who must catch.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Male essence, let's say, in their, where they speak. Catch it where you speak. That comes from a man who is, doing a lot of, he's getting a forearm workout, let's say, on a rooftop. Okay. So again, 2 nude women must catch the male essence of a man by using which from they speak to, and they must catch all of it. Okay? This can be accomplished merely by the male essence touching the women's bodies before it hits the ground. A more difficult setting requires players to catch male essence before it goes past the woman's shoulders. If the player successfully catches all the male essence in one round, the two women will basically, how can I say, undry their lips, and the game proceeds to the next round. If any of the male essence hits the floor, the first turn is over. Players are allowed to miss 4 times before the game is over. They can gain a turn by a point system. When they hit 69 points, because, what are we talking about? Where are we? This is an erotic game. They hit a 69. Okay, they get 2 extra turns. Players move women using the controller's paddle, and the game allows the player to control one woman. The game plays similar to Atari Kaboom. Okay, now there's a gender swapped version here, and this game was called Philly Flasher. Now Philly Flasher is the opposite. Okay, you control 2 male prisoners with full nudity, and you're trying to catch the lactation of an old witch's let me see this, calcium cannons. Okay. But instead of undrying their lips, the 2 men, when they succeed in catching all of them, they will begin to the process of the hokey pokey. And by hokey pokey, I mean forearm strength building. That's basically the gist of the game. Now, graphically, you have to really use your imagination. It's an Atari game. Let's try to visualize this now, okay? The full screen is black, just a black screen. In the very top of the screen, it's blue with orange buildings of a shadow. So, basically when you draw a picture, you make little buildings, and the background of those buildings are orange with a blue sky. Very simple. Now, there is a gray box that shapes the outline of the building where the man is on top of, and there's some windows. And at the bottom, it's a gray because it's probably cement, and the 2 women are blonde because they do have more fun apparently. And you are also blonde because I don't think any other color would work here because it's Atari. So the women are nude, and in this particular game, they enhance the graphics. They want maybe 1 polyres up from Night of the Town because you can actually see a different color for where the nipple would be. Okay, you could see it, and if you look closely, the drapes do match the curtains, or however that saying goes. I don't remember. Or the rug matches the curtains of the drapes, and everything's unified. You could see it. It's Atari. It's there. So they look like monsters. They look like creatures because basically they are looking straight up and their heads are not correctly positioned for their body. But hey, like I said, you got to visualize, right? Now the man on top, I just cannot fathom and describe what it looks like without getting really wild. But imagine okay, you know how in Greek mythology you had like half man, half bull, you had half man, half horse. No, okay, we're gonna go there. This man looks like half man, half jackhammer. Because that's what it looks like. And this jackhammer is going to town. And I tell you what, it ain't chipping cement. It's engaging in the male essence. And this thing is flying everywhere. It's flying everywhere. And you have to take the women and run across the screen. So it goes left to right to left. It stops in the middle. It stops to the left. It stops to the right. It's just shooting down everything fast. You got to catch them. You got to catch them all like Pokemon. This is basically how Pokemon probably got to start. You got to catch them all. So you're catching them all. The round's over. You win. Congratulations. You get a little show. Next round. It's, again, point style based game. You just got to keep playing and playing and playing. It gets faster and faster and faster until eventually it goes so fast you can't do anything. You lose. That's it. It's hilarious. It's stupid. But I mean, you have to see it to believe it because because it is what it is. It's just someone said, you know what I want to make a game of? Like, I want to know what he was doing, where he thought about the creation of this game. Because you do have to have you have to have imagination. You do have to have some kind of creative ability to be like, you know what I want to make a game? I want to make a game where there's a man shooting male essence right off a New York City building and landing it on another human for points. For points. It is what it is. Okay. Back to another game. So that's Beat 'em and Eat 'em. Okay. Bubble Bath Babes. Not so bad. Just some still nudity and eight pixel art. Okay. Then we had Night of the Town, and then we had Beat 'em and Eat 'em. This game is called Burning Desires. Now let me give you some of the information of this. Apparently, it's also a song by Lana Del Rey, which I did not know. I bet the song is nice. Okay, so here we go. Burning Desires. This game was released in 1982, again by Joel H. Martin. You know what? Maybe he's the fiend behind these games. He's the idea maker. He's a creation guy. He definitely is creating these games. Okay, Burning Desire. We're going to read the back of the box. In Burning Desire, your girlfriend has been captured by natives and is being burnt as a sacrifice. You are hanging naked from a helicopter, and you must put the fires out. It appears by spitting on them. You then lower your... Oh, man. You lower your... You know, statty soldier, right? To save the woman who holds on to it with her mouth. So basically, it's like, think of it like a trapeze trick, right? You're just sending down this hole, and instead of using her hands, because there's no logic, she grabs onto it with her mouth. Except the pole is it is what it is. And you fly her to safety. Now you must do all of this while avoiding the rocks thrown at you. If you get hit by a rock or take too long, your girlfriend gets roasted and you lose a life. Now, you cannot make this game up because this is a wild game. Now, again, we're going to visualize the scene here because this is a podcast and it's not a video show. This is not a video. This is just audio. So, again, Atari, black screen. Black background is the way to go. The helicopter is of the same color as the putrid brown in the towers of Night of Town. Right? It's in the shape of a helicopter. You are a purple man hanging from the helicopter with a string, and you basically have 3 legs, because 2 of them are your legs, and the other one is a 3rd leg for safety, purposes. It does appear that you're spitting down spit. So this man definitely has been well hydrated before saving his girlfriend. Now, the natives are on each side of the screen because the middle of the screen is where the burning bush sacrifice is happening. Your girlfriend is also naked, and beside her are 2 purple fires. Because, like I said, red probably wasn't an option, so purple it is. On the left side and the right side, there are blue natives. They could be native anything. We don't know. Native to what? Native to this game? I don't know. And they're shooting rocks at you. Now you can take the helicopter and go left, right. You could stop it. You can move it around, up and down. You just have to avoid the rocks being thrown at you. Now these aren't regular rocks. These are helicopter taking down rocks. So they're different. They're different. Like this is definitely not planet Earth because I've never seen a rock take down a helicopter, but in Burning Desire it does. So you have to hover over the fire and keep dropping spit until the flame goes out. If you move around too much or cannot continue your spit action, the fire will go higher again. So you have to essentially start over. So the game does get much harder because as you progress through the levels, they throw rocks like there's an asteroid belt. That's how many rocks get thrown at you once you go to the higher levels. But if you complete all of putting out both flames, you can lower yourself onto your wife, and she will grab the only thing that is possible to grab, which would be your third leg, with her mouth. You cannot make this up. This is a real game, and I've had it, and I played it, and I think it's hilarious. And if you have a couple drinks and you want to do something stupid with your adult friends, put this game in, go for the high score, and have a chuckle because there's nothing else you could do. There's really nothing else you could do. Is it the best game? No. Is it the worst game? I mean, kinda. But you know what? It's all fun. We're all adults here. It's all fun. Now, the last game is probably one of the most highly controversial games, regardless of era, regardless of platform or anything. Again, this game was made on Atari in 19. Let's do the Wikipedia. Okay. Bam. Again, developed by JH. Oh, so JHM Limited is John Henry Martin. I just figured that out. Have another glass of wine. By American Multiple Industries in 1982. So all these games came out the same year. So 82 was definitely the year of the deviant, or not the pig or the snake or the rabbit. It was the sexual deviant. In this game, gameplay wise, now this is exactly this. Okay, some people think of a video game concept and ask why. Okay, others think of the video game concept and say why not. This didn't have to be made at all. Okay, this didn't have to exist, but it does, and somebody made it. And can you imagine if this ever gets re-released with the graphics we have nowadays? They would burn the world. The world would be burnt down. Okay. Ew, man. I mean, you can Google it. I'm gonna do the best description that I can for you, but let's just read the back of the box. This is literally on the back of the box. Okay. Well, maybe not exactly, but basically, you play as Lieutenant Colonel and Major General George Armstrong Custer, a famous American cavalry commander who was most well known for his major defeat and death at the Battle of Bighorn. Okay? You, General Custer, must advance through the playing field and avoid arrows in order to how can I say that? This is a little crazy. In order to be an absolute scum to a Native American woman who is tied up to a cactus on the other side of the screen. Yes. This is crazy. This is definitely crazy. Um, there is a whole story you could do on this game, but we do not have. I don't have the time. Um, to go over this because this will probably just be its own unique episode. I would love to have people who played this game and we could talk about this game because it's pretty funny. Well, it's not funny. I shouldn't say funny. I think it'll be interesting to have a conversation about the game, but the game is it's trash, or as you people say in England, diabolical. Um, so basically, graphically, let's set it up. Let's set it up. In the background, there is blue sky, some little white clouds, looks like a little town, all in the uh brown shade of poop. The rest of the background is just a lighter color poop, which probably represents a desert. And on the right hand side is a green cactus. There's a Native American girl tied up to the cactus. And then you are naked with just a cowboy hat on. Well, not a cowboy hat, but a cavalry hat on. And you have cowboy boots. And that's all you're wearing. And now you have to dodge arrows being shot at you. If you get hit with the arrow, you lose a life, you go back to the beginning. You can move as fast as you can up and back and forth, left and right. We got to avoid the arrows. As soon as you're able to get close to the native woman, you can, get points by being an absolute savage. And then you have to stop doing that to avoid the arrows again and keep going back and forth until you get hit and continue. Definitely one of the most controversial games and probably one of the worst video games ever made. There's a whole list of worst video games ever made. Most of them are in the exotic category, exotic erotic category. It went to notoriety, and it was selling for $50 back in 1982. That's like almost $150 now. At least in America. I don't know what it is in euros or pounds or whatever, but it's crazy. I think this game has been banned in like almost everywhere on the planet Earth. You either have the original copy or you emulate it. That's the only way you're ever going to see the light of day of this game. Yeah, there was a whole. It was a news articles on this. There was, I remember TV news on TV anchors on live TV talking about this game. There was lawsuits on this game. This was just really, really crazy. Yeah, it's wild. This is definitely one of the worst of the erotic games because no one agreed to this. She definitely didn't agree to it. So that's some wild, diabolical things happening in this game. But it's out there. It was removed from the shelves, then it was put back on the shelves, and it was retaken back. It was taken again off the shelves. They had to put like adult video game on a stamp. I mean, this led to a bunch of stuff. Remember, there was no game rating back in the day. You just put a game out there, you played it. There was no warning. There was no rated E for everyone or M for mature. This was just a whole. This was pretty much the fall of Atari. But this led to almost bombing video games, along with ET and all these wild games that were coming out. Yeah, the console wasn't doing good. If there is 20 games that you can think of that are the worst games on it, whatever game you have on there, you got to put this game in place and remove something else because this is definitely wild. Um, yeah. I mean, seeing is believing. I mean, you shouldn't have to, but if you're interested in it, it's there. It's historical because it's historical for all the wrong reasons. It's an infamous game, basically. You know, it's infamous. Um, I played it because I was young and I was curious and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, dude, this doesn't feel right. I mean, I was young, it didn't feel right. So, you know, the other games you laughed at, it's so stupid. This game was not laughable. This was sad. But I figured we'll start off with these 5 games. Um, we can definitely do more. I thought it was interesting show to do. Um, you know, there's a lot more. There's a lot more, funnier games. You go to the point where it's like, Revenge of the Nerds style things like, or Porky's Revenge, and, you know, those type of moody, erotic games because, they're funny, they're lighthearted. There's nudity because it is what it is. Um, not everywhere is such a taboo. There's games. They're still making games about it. It's obviously a popular uh genre. I mean, there's films, and it's a billion-dollar industry for the films. Games too. It's just another media. There's all types of books you can read. Those hot and heavy romance novels. They get graphic. So it's a genre that people really like, and it's gonna be that way for a long time. Nothing's gonna stop it. The only what's going to stop it is certain, like I said, I can't imagine. Well, yeah, I mean, can't imagine Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation really allowing uh super um adult content. I think anything that has adult content at PlayStation is like no. Xbox, you have a little bit more of a chance, a little bit not as strict, but yeah, at certain points it's going to be taken off. The only way you're going to get these games is from PC because I don't think PC cares. And if you have a computer and you can put a CD in there and you can play it, you're going to play it somewhere else. You know what I mean? So, like I said, these games aren't going away. When I was doing my research in there, there's games to be announced, like coming out this year, coming out 2025. So, it's there. It's there. There's loads. So, if you thought this episode was interesting and you want to jump on the Discord and we can talk about it, and maybe there's games that I mean that you played, I've played or never played, never heard of, back and forth. I could do a part 2. I think it would be pretty interesting. Like I said, some are funny, some are just crazy, and some are just, bro, that should not have been made. Uh, you know, disgusting, really. But it is what it is. Bubble bath girls, bubble bath babes on Nintendo. Then you had Night of Town. Then you had Beat 'em and Eat 'em, Burning Desire, and the most infamous of them all. I mean, Custer's Revenge. Uh, so that's pretty much the episode, guys. Like I said, if you're hearing it, you want to jump in the Discord, let me know what you thought. If it's the worst episode ever, you know what? I made history. Either way, you know what I mean? Um, as far as what I plan to play, like I said, Helldivers, right into it, watching Dune. Let you guys know in the Discord what I thought about it. Um, and I think we'll call it a day. Appreciate the listen. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.